Hey guys, it's me, the Afro Hamurai. Welcome to an episode of New Seasoning, and today we're looking at Bus Force. Arturia have released a new collection of their effects. Before, I think it was 17 effects. Now it's 22. So they've added some new effects. This is one of the ones that is completely new, so they've never released before. And as you can hear, I'm using it on my drums, and it just sounds incredible on it. In advance, you see all of these guys right here. You see all of these right here. In advance, I'm just going to straight up say it. Thank you so much for making this. So Bus Force has 4 modules and 3 paths. It has the dry path, the compressor path, and then the saturation path. And some of these modules can go onto some of them. The EQ one can go onto all of them if you want to. To enable one, you just click on its like little name and it will add it into it. So I can add this into the dry path and the saturator, this equalizer, but not into the compressor. Some of them require the other ones. So for example, if I put a filter onto the compressor, if I want to put a compressor on, it will only let me put it on with the filter on this saturation, as you can see with the change on the left here. If I turn this off, but I can, if I turn it off and just have the compressor with the compressor, use this as a way to just have that going on instead. But of course, if I turn the compressor on, that all turns off. So the saturator kind of goes after the compressor if you have that enabled. Otherwise, you can have its own effects in there. The EQ can go before everything, and you can have a level of like, filtering going on with the compressor. You can have like lots of different things happening. It's pretty cool. I quite like it because of that. You can have an EQ happening before the saturator, but not before the compressor. You can do a lot of actual customization of your signal path here. I have it set up with just this because I just enjoyed having it set up as I did. You can also turn on or off this clipper. If you turn it off, it takes it out of the output. If you turn it on, there you go. And you can set the level at which you'll start getting clipping, and this just sounds great. Like, you can overdo it and it will sound really fun, but just not very good. But when you have it in that sort of like right spot, it sounds absolutely brilliant. At the top here, you dial in your different levels of the dry path, the compressor path, and the saturation path. On its default, the saturation path is set to 0 with these set to like negative infinity, but then there's no saturation, so you essentially have the dry signal. I would have preferred if the default had some level of saturation and compression already dialed in, and it had these set to 0 and dry set to like whatever it needed to be. But it's not too difficult to mess around with. Let's have a quick look at the modules. When you click on the module's title or click on any of its controls, it changes what you see. So right now I'm looking at the filter, compressor, the saturator. I'm looking at my signal flow, and then I go back to looking at my equalizer. This is like your 3-band vintage EQ sort of thing. So, you have a low shelf, you have a little mid bell, and then you can have a high shelf. So I can do, that. So I could do this if I wanted to and have like overall a bit of a tilt going on with a bit of a bump around my, what did I say, at around about 2 grand, isn't it? Yeah, around about 2000 hertz. I'm going to reset all of that. You guys chill. There you go. Much better. Nice. We have a high pass, low pass filter that can be customized, boop, just like that. So I can add in a little bit of resonance and have, a little bit of a hump if I wanted to, put that into my saturation and see what I get with it. If I wanted to, of course. I left this flat because I found it quite good as it was. You have a compressor. This could work as either a stereo compressor or a dual mono compressor, which is really cool. I prefer having it as a stereo compressor for now, but I do want to experiment a bit more with how it sounds between the two on some of my other tracks. Force is essentially your ratio, but a bit of a different type of ratio. If you see from this curve, if I turn this up, it kind of ends up actually just squashing stuff down so much that it ends up reducing in volume, and then you have to use your makeup gain afterwards. I'm going to undo that. Threshold is your threshold, and then you have your makeup gain. If your threshold is too low, like mine is at -50, and that's where I get my compression that I want, you can introduce input gain. And what's really cool about Bus Force is that by default, it links this to your output gain. So if you turn this up, it turns your output down. If you turn it down, it turns your output up. So you can use this as a way to like hit things a lot harder. If you want to hit the compressor or the saturator harder, you can use this as a way to make sure you're getting the levels that you need to do everything. And at the bottom here, you can turn it into linear phase. So if you need it, you have it. There you go. Yay. It also has a DC blocker, which is basically like meant to stop really, really low level sounds from coming in. If you're working with samples, it's unlikely that you need it. But if you're working with an actual synthesizer, might be useful to have this here. So I said that I kind of had to cheat on another drum processor. I'm going to show you what drum processor I'm talking about, and you'll likely have seen it a lot of times if you've been on this channel. But firstly, I need to make this smaller so it fits with it. There you go. I think this should be small enough, right? Yeah, that should be small enough. So this is Devil-Loc Deluxe, which is a really cool drum processor. I use it as a drum processor. You can also use it on, synths. You can use it on anything that you want to add some level of really nice sounding distortion to. This is meant to be a emulation of the Shure Level-Loc, but with extra controls. There is a standard version of Devil-Loc that I think only really has like crush and crunch, and then that's about it. Devil-Loc Deluxe, I think, is just a way better thing overall. So if you wanted to get one of the two, get this. But I managed to get similar results that I would get out of Devil-Loc with Bus Force. Still different, but similar enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a clip that I've got with my drums in it once I stop everything else. There we go. I'm going to play a clip with my drums in it where I've automated these two switching between each other, and you'll hear exactly what I mean. So firstly, I think I set it up with Devil-Loc Deluxe, and then I switch it to Bus Force. You'll see that they say bypass on them, but let's have a listen. I've got two similar results, but slightly different between Devil-Loc Deluxe and Bus Force. I think that some of that might be because of the settings that I have on these. I haven't been able to match these up exactly. I just kind of used these to sound close enough to my ear, but still sound fun. So this might sound a little bit crunchier than that because of it. It might also sound crunchier because it's a crunchier plugin overall compared to Bus Force. To talk about the features of Devil-Loc Deluxe, compression is this crush bit, crunch is a clipper, release is how fast and slow this compressor behaves itself, darkness is a low pass filter, so it adds a little bit of a damping factor, and then mix is mix. Yeah. But here's the real question. Is Bus Force better than Devil-Loc, or is Devil-Loc better than Bus Force? You know what the answer is? I think these two tie as my two favorite drum processors, and there's a very important reason. Let's look at Bus Force, and let's do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 39, 40. I mean, these two are kind of a cheat. But yeah, we have like basically 40 different controls within Bus Force. 5. This is the biggest reason, right? This Bus Force, and I'm not going to take it away from it, sounds absolutely incredible. I really love it, and it gives me exactly the same smile and exactly the same level of joy and fun as I get out of Devil-Loc Deluxe. But the issue is that with Devil-Loc Deluxe, I could do it with 5 knobs. I could do this, or at least some of what this could do. Like, I would say like maybe a third, a quarter of what this could do with Devil-Loc Deluxe. The thing is that that quarter is a lot of my production. So this just ends up doing a lot of what I would need it to. But on saying that, Bus Force trying to get the same results out of this sounds to me a lot cleaner because I can mess with it a lot more. It does let me get a bit closer to like the perfect version of what I would do out of Devil-Loc Deluxe without needing to have other plugins doing it for me. So I don't need to have a vintage EQ as a pre-EQ with this. I don't need to have filters. I don't need to mess with like, different chains and like an instrument rack to get this to behave itself in a way that I want to. Bus Force will just do it. So Bus Force is a really great way to have almost like a really customizable version of Devil-Loc Deluxe. Devil-Loc Deluxe, however, is really great to have a really simple version of what it does. And if you want to add some really nice, crunchy distortion to your drums, it's going to be able to do it a lot quicker than with Bus Force, and you'll get really good results every single time. I don't really think there's a way you can mess up with Devil-Loc because of how simple it is. But let's talk about prices. Bus Force comes at 99 euros. With the effects collection, you can get this with everything else for around 300 euros. If you have an Arturia login, check because you will get upgrade pricing. I owned the previous version of the FX collection, and I managed to get this for 69 euros with all of the other stuff on upgrade licensing. That's pretty good because, to be honest, I would pay 69 euros for just this on its own. I mean, it's worth 99 euros anyway. I got it for less than the price of just this with everything else with my upgrade pricing. So if you're remotely interested in this and you already own some Arturia stuff, go onto their website, log in, see what upgrade pricing you have, and see if it's worth it for you. I would absolutely say that at its street price of 100 euros just for Bus Force, absolutely brilliant deal. I would just get it straight up. I'm not even joking. Devil-Loc Deluxe, which will come with Devil-Loc Deluxe, and then Devil-Loc comes in at $29 at the moment on sale. I'm not sure how long that sale lasts. At $29, if you don't buy this, I don't understand why. So if you've seen this video and you've gotten this far and you're interested in one of these two and you have $30, just get Devil-Loc. Just do it. You're never gonna regret it. I'm not even joking. Its regular price is $130. Devil-Loc Deluxe will come with standard Devil-Loc for that price, so either the 29 on sale or the $129 regularly. So just get it. It's fun. It's so fun. I'm not even joking. I can still talk so much like about it and how great it is, even comparing it to Bus Force, which has so much control over it. If you wanted to get this with the rest of Sound Toys, at the moment, the Sound Toys bundle, so the bundle of like all of Sound Toys effects, comes in at $289 on sale. Normally it's $500, but they do also offer upgrade pricing. So if you own a Sound Toys plugin, log into your account, see if you get any upgrade pricing. But yeah, I've got to be real. I am so impressed with Bus Force. Normally, I don't really have anything except Devil-Loc Deluxe and something like Parallel Aggressor. This, as much as it's more expensive than Parallel Aggressor, is actually brilliant for parallel processing. It is actually brilliant. I don't think I could think of anything that's closer to perfection than this, in my opinion, outside of having actual hardware. And even then, even with actual hardware, I don't think I'd know what I'd be doing with it. I know what I'm doing with this. I didn't even need the tutorial for it. I managed to figure it out. Genuinely, this is just so well designed. It sounds brilliant. I've had so much fun with it, and I've had it for a day. I've had it for a day, and I'm having so much fun with it. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's great that I managed to get Devil-Loc Deluxe to have a cameo in a video for the third time. So if you want to see the other two videos, I've got them linked down below where I've used Devil-Loc Deluxe. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, stay creative, and as always, it doesn't matter what plugins you have for your music, as long as you enjoy making it. Cool.